Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Wednesday, April 19th. We are 3 days into the week, dead center of the week right now, as we are in lunchtime hour for the U.S. session. And the moral of the story for DXY, which we always start with, is consolidation. So we mentioned, yesterday, if it moves higher, we will see, we will see risk, take a bit of a breather. And of course, we experienced that in equities, Bitcoin, Ethereum. But more or less, I don't think that the amount of volatility that we saw this morning was directly due to the dollar, although this definitely influenced it. Now, the reason I think we saw such volatility this morning was because UK inflation came in over 10%, which was above expectations and is still very high. Now, inflation in America is down to 5%. Inflation in the UK is 10%. So although, the UK is certainly smaller than the US and a little bit less significant, it still is, a world power, and houses a lot of people and a significant portion of global finance. So there is reason to be concerned in regard to global inflation. But again, we are typically a US focused, show and company. So we of course have to understand the full global perspective. But I think the reason why you saw the downside volatility was because of such a high inflation print. The reason that you're seeing not more downside volatility during the US session, which has typically been selling, is because the inflation was UK specific. Now, EU inflation is, of course, still high, overall. But again, when we're talking about, the Asian countries are performing well, American countries are performing well. The EU is not the globe, although it is certainly something to be worried about in the larger context of being bullish. So the moral of the story for DXY is if we get below 101.6, obviously good things likely for risk. If we stay above 101.6 and attack the 102 level again, that's probably not so good for risk. And if we, get above the 102 level again, we're probably going to end up heading back to 102.5. If that is the case, then risk is likely not having fun. So we're still just sitting here in this consolidation. We could just go up and down for a very long time, but the trigger for bearishness is above 102. The trigger for bullishness is above, or is below 101.6. So looking at equities, we obviously had that bearish maneuver last night. And if you're in the Trade the Chain community, and I'm actually going to kind of pull that up for everybody. This is not the right community. So if we go to Trade the Chain and we pull up the trades that we mentioned last night, so two options for ARB. There was a bullish and bearish. I said two rejections are typically shorts, then followed up with looking like a red Asia session. Called out the ETH trade, bearish cross of the weekly VWAP. We woke up, ARB was down 12% this morning and ETH was down 5% this morning. So again, if you're not in the Trade the Chain community, you are missing out on massive trades every single day in the morning and in the evening. So, I mean, this is just one or two trades that we called out yesterday. We also call out 4 different trades every single morning. And of course, we called everything out this morning as well. So if you're not in the Trade the Chain community, all of this that I'm talking about right now is auxiliary based on what I put in there in the morning and the evening. So if you're only watching this, you're missing a lot of pieces of the puzzle. Trade the Chain community has those trades. Again, we called ARB down 12% today. We called ETH down 5%. Both of those are major trades, could make or break your entire month. So if you're not watching those trades, I can't do anything to help you because I'm putting them in the Trade the Chain community, and those that are taking those trades are getting helped. So that's really all I can do. So I want to let you guys know that because there's so much more information well beyond this show that we're trying to help you with. So this is still resistance in my opinion. 4140, we're kind of creeping up higher all the way up to the 4200 level. That's a very critical level. So we've just been deviating above and below the 4145 level. Up here, back down, resistance, back down, break above, hold it, up, resistance, breakthrough. Now we're back above it. So we're really just consolidating around this. And if you kind of look closer, we're also just consolidating around the weekly VWAP. So the moral of the story this morning is if we held 41.35, we obviously would move up towards the VWAP around 41.45. We reclaimed the VWAP now. We are above the VWAP. So obviously the first trade idea worked out, and the triggers were if it stays above 41.35, long. If it confirms above the VWAP, long. So both of those trades worked out. Now we are getting into precarious levels, and this is where you would start looking for potential shorts. I would not short right here yet, but we may, end up returning back to the VWAP for a potential test. So, considering that the trade that I presented this morning already worked out, just think about this. You're in the trade the chain community. This comes to you every single morning. Every morning, this trade comes to you, whether or not it's going up or down, and we give the triggers to do so. So we told the trade chain community, and I'll pull it up just so you don't think that I'm bullshitting. Break above 41.35 and attack the weekly VWAP. Get rejected at the VWAP, come back down. And if we get rejected at 41.35, we'll never even make it up there in the first place. So we broke above 41.35 and we attacked the VWAP at 41.44. That happened. Now the trade is over. Now we look for a new trade. So now we're looking at, resistance being at the previous daily close of 41.50. So in my opinion, it would be better to wait to see if we test off of the VWAP for then more trading higher, or we could potentially come back below the VWAP and deviate back down to recent lows. We could obviously, overcome 41.53 and move higher. That is definitely a trade opportunity as well. But 41.53 is now your resistance that could turn into support. So I have no trade here until we get above 41.53 or until we reject off of 41.53. If we get above 41.53, you're longing with a goal of 41.70. If we get rejected off of 41.50, you want to wait to see how it reacts at the VWAP for a potential long, or if it breaks through, that's when you would short back down to the low of 41.30. So again, all these trades go in the trade the chain community. This is, auxiliary trades. We will follow it up in the trade the chain community in the evening. So looking at Bitcoin, the not so simple today. We are just consolidating as it is right now. But moral of the story is if we confirm above 29.3, which we've been unable to confirm above, we did get above it, but then we broke back down and now we're hovering around the 29.3 level again. So hold 29.3, get back up to the VWAP around 29.8. Get up to 29.8 and don't confirm it. So if you do something like that, that's obviously bullish. But if you get rejected off the VWAP, then you're coming back down to where price is now. And if we end up losing 29.3, then we're dropping down to at least 29K, potentially down to 28.8. And then that's where I would expect some sort of reversal to occur, at least back up into this range. So looking at ETH, very similar trading as well. It's it's at support. It's in the previous range that we were trading in back on the 13th. And the moral of the story is if break below 1985, then you are dropping down near 1940. Confirm above 1985, and you can get back up to the to 2030, which also coincides with the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. If you get up here, you obviously need to reclaim that to move higher towards the VWAP. If you get rejected at this level, then you're right back down to the 1985 level. And again, break below 1885, come down here because you would basically lose this entire range. And we obviously deviated down here, which was below the range, into that demand zone. So you would, this is pretty much just a nice little demand zone right here based on how it's trading. So you want it to move higher. Else you break below, you're moving lower. So again, I don't know why that's like that. Again, no immediate trades for me right now. We're in the middle of the US session. All of the good trading was, last night into the US session, which was obviously short. People now would like to long. There, we don't have a clear confirmation for a long yet, and therefore I don't really want to take anything at this level. I'd rather take a reclaim of 2030 or a rejection at 2030 personally. But if you wanted to start longing here, certainly Bitcoin and Ethereum are looking like they're trying to hold their own, but I really do not like any trades right now. If you guys know me, I like trades around the daily close. I like trades at the US Open. So, and of course, we give trades at the US Open in the Trade the Chain community. We also tend to, most days of the week, give trades at the US close sometimes it's late. We're not always able to give an opportune trade, and we want to make sure that we're only giving good trades to people. You don't need to trade every day. We're giving updates every single morning, so therefore you have opportunity every morning. Sometimes during the evening, we'll follow it up, usually 2 or 3 days a week. So in my opinion right now, best to be patient. We got the big move yesterday. After momentum, or after a big momentum shift, we want to wait for price to chill out and assess what's going on. And again, US session has typically been bearish. And it was a bit of a surprise last night that the Asia session was bearish, but that was likely due to EU data. So it'll be very interesting this evening to see if Asia will buy it back up. And Asia will not start buying until after the daily close, because the daily close happens just before Asia wakes up. So it's the perfect timing to reassess the market at 8 p.m. Eastern, because Asia is beginning to wake up. Fresh data comes in. Now you have, previous day behind you. So then you can start looking at previous day high, previous day low, previous day mid-range, previous daily close. You've got all this data and information to then attack the next 24 hours. And that's why the daily close is a great place to make trades. So nothing crazy right now. But again, if we do hold the 1985 level, I'm longing into the Asia session, and I'll probably wait until the daily close. If we hold the 28.3 level for Bitcoin into the daily close, I am probably longing. And for equities, if we can break above the 41.52, 41.53 level, which was the previous daily close, I am probably also longing equities. But again, I'm more interested in Bitcoin and ETH for the time being. And again, no trade until we either confirm the numbers that I asked, or we get new data coming in towards the daily close. So it is always best to be patient. And again, US trading has not been very friendly to us. Asia trading has been the most clear and good type of volatility. So good luck, happy trading. And again, if you're not in the Trade the Chain community, you're missing out on 4 trades every single morning and several trades coming during the evening, at least 2 or 3 days a week. So good luck, happy trading. See all of you in the TTC community.